All right, so welcome to another CC Outdoors video. As you guys can see today, I'm with Ben and Ethan, and we are going to be talking about growing social media and social media accounts for fishing. So introduce yourselves, Ethan.
My name's Ethan Preston. I have the brand Preston Outdoors from North Dakota.
And I'm Benny Schumann, and I'm Ben Outdoors USA on Instagram as well.
So these are two guys that I wanted to have on here first because they've both got a relatively decent following on Instagram. What are you, Ethan? 5,000 now?
Yep.
And Ben is 17,500.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Famous in here. Everybody fanboys over him when you see him around town.
Yeah, I'm laying in my bed right now because I just had hernia surgery. So
Yep. So if you're wondering why he's in bed, that's why. So we're gonna get into first Instagram, growing an Instagram page, because we've found that to be one of the harder platforms along with YouTube to grow on. So I guess I'd ask Ben first how he grew, because he's got the most followers out of any of us, and he's had pretty good growth this past ice fishing season.
yeah, I'd say okay. So literally, like my account, I started off like I was just posting other people's stuff, and like I just thought it was cool, like just post like what other people were doing, what people were catching, what people were shooting for deer and duck wise. But then I like wanted to change it more towards myself, so that's where I changed it to Ben Outdoors. But I changed it to Ben Outdoors, and then as I grew, I don't know, I probably changed it to Ben Outdoors when I was at like 10,000 followers. And basically how I grew there, I was just following people that were interested in the outdoors, and they would send me their pictures. So I'd repost their pictures, and then they'd like share it, and then I'd grow followers from that. But I'd say I mainly now have gained a lot of followers just by posting reels. Like we've talked about this before, Connor and Ethan, we've done pretty good on reels with growing followers through that. Like I posted one and it got 600,000 views, and I got like 500 to 800 followers from it.
Yeah, so I guess I'll go next on that then, off of the reels topic. But I've had multiple reels this ice season get well over 100,000 views, and those reels are number one for growing on Instagram from what I've found.
Yeah.
Way more than pictures, because reels go on a whole different algorithm. Anybody can see them when they're not following you, even if they're not with hashtags or whatever. So
Yeah.
I've found, I mean, even if you can get a reel that'll get 100,000 views and I'll get 2,000, 3,000 likes, you'll gain 50 to 100 followers just from something like that.
Yeah, I'd say even like up until like this ice season, like I never really posted any reels or anything, and like my follower like growth was just not good. And then I posted like a couple videos on my reels, and literally just one of them, like a week or two later after I posted it, it just blew up, and I just gained a ton of followers from that.
Well, yeah, and reels, they're a new thing. They just came out this year. So Instagram growth was even harder prior to this winter. But now I want to hear what Ethan has to say about his growth, because I know it's slowed down for you a bit lately, but for a while there, this fall and summer, you were growing pretty well. So I want to hear what you have to say about it.
Yeah, for me, I think the biggest thing I would take out of the Instagram growth on side of things, talking to both of you, is the relativeness of hashtags. So when I first started out, I would just hashtag like any normal person would, something that had to do with the picture you posted. If you post a picture of a bluegill fishing, bluegill this, bluegill, all that thing, or ice fishing, and you do the hashtags like that. Well, recently, after talking to you guys about it, some of the hashtags now that you post have nothing to do with the relevancy of your picture, but they're just hashtags that are doing well on Instagram. And even though my growth has slowed down a little bit this past winter because I don't ice fish as near as much as you guys do, so I don't have the content to post there. I think what's kept me growing is the relativity of hashtags growing there, where come in the summer, fall, and beginning of winter, I have a chance to fish a lot more, fish out of my boat, fish from shore, duck hunt, deer hunt. So my content reaches a bunch of different niches, you could say, on all the social medias, because I'm hunting and fishing a lot more, and it's a combination of both, especially during the fall. So that's kind of where I had my explosion of growth, and Instagram was really liking that. It was posting my stuff on the Discover page a lot, and I wasn't posting reels at all, just because I could flip flop back and forth, posting twice a day or once a day between hunting and fishing, and had relatively good pictures and content and stuff there. So I think my biggest thing I will be going into 2021 is finding and trying to find good hashtags to go with my content.
Okay, yeah. So with hashtags, I still use something, or like everything I post is related to it for the most part. If it's fishing content, even if it's not, if I post a crappie, yeah, I'll have walleye fishing, I'll have bass fishing, ice castle, bass boats, like stuff like that, where there's always people looking at it. So it's always fishing related tags, except for I'll do like explore, because that'll get you on. I mean, who knows if it actually does, but it just seems like it gets you on the explore page more. I'll do explore Minnesota, opt outside, outdoors related tags like that. And that I found helps too.
Yeah. And sometimes you literally won't be on the explore page for a month or two at a time. But like that, like one post, I remember, like, I shot a nice deer in the fall. I posted a picture of it and I hashtag a few things like deer hunting or something. And I got like 2,600 likes on it. Like, normally I only get like 300 to 450 and sometimes even less than that likes. So like 2,500 likes, it's pretty good for, like, that's not what I normally see. So
Yeah, because well, even this summer, I had one where it had like 200 likes last year when I posted it, and this summer I got like 65 likes on it out of nowhere. Just
yeah,
like in a day's span, it got 65 new likes, and it was up to like 260 or 270 by the end of the day. And then never again has it had likes, but I've had that multiple times where posts that are 6 months, a year old or whatever, they'll all grow at random points.
yeah, yeah, hashtag definitely help. And I would say um posting a lot. You got to post a lot, and that's like what Ethan said. Like, in the winter, it gets to be hard, especially like if it's too cold or something. We don't get out that much, but in the summers, it's always a lot better, I think, just because we have so much content to post.
Yeah, daily posts. I mean, I've for the most part up until now, but I've been posting almost daily all winter long. And yeah, we had that cold snap where it was like -60 for a few days in a row, and couldn't go fishing, couldn't go outside really at all. So it was basically up to posting old pictures. So I think another thing you got to do, and I've started doing this after Ethan told me about it, is I don't post all my pictures from one day. I'll spread out one trip over a week or two, where it's
Yeah,
just if I catch 10 big fish, that's 10 different posts. I don't post 10 big fish in one post. And that's what I used to do. And that hurt my account because then I was only posting once every 2 or 3 days when I could get out fishing.
yeah, yeah,
And that's one thing that we talked about before. Like this past weekend, I went on bluegill fishing. Only fished for like 3 or 4 hours. Caught maybe 4 or 5 good bluegills, and that's literally what's riding my week for content this week, because I only got out for a short period of time. And so that's another tip, like I said, and just take a bunch of pictures. Just take a bunch. Like I take an abnormally amount of pictures the way it is, just for myself, even though a lot of them don't get posted. Just to have, and like Connor said, you can space it out. Even if you catch 10 fish in a day, you can post maybe a couple smaller fish together where you get a swipe. I just found on my page that not a lot of people were swiping over to look at all the pictures, and so that's where I started. Like I'd post like a bigger picture on the second or one, or a bigger fish on the second one, or like post a question or something about the second picture, and then I just read through my comments, reading through, and nobody ever like would comment something that the fish on the second picture or the third picture. So that's why I was like, well, screw it. I'm literally wasting content
yeah,
posting it up there. And so that's how I got started in doing that. And like you said, if you don't get a chance to get out over long cold snaps, or you're working a full-time job, you only get out on the weekends, it's another strategy to use to make your content last longer for you.
Well, yeah.
yeah,
And like you said, with the abnormal amount of pictures, I mean, me and Ben went out crappie fishing one day and we caught like 8 or 9 big crappies, like 13, 14, 15 inches. So we took a ton of different pictures, release shots, live well shots, just all kinds of different things like that, where you can post 10 or 15 fish from, or like, and you can even post the same fish multiple times. If you do one of it in the live well swimming around, or one of it on the release, you can do shots holding it up and all that different things. So yeah, if you got to be good with the camera and know how to take good pictures is another big thing. I mean, that's above all else is being a good photographer.
Yeah, people don't want to see like content that's got like super blurry pictures and stuff that just doesn't look good. So I'd say definitely looking more professional and everything is a key point to like attracting people to your page.
One mistake I see a lot of people making is posting pictures where it's like your full body in the picture. Like the angle I'm at right now would be perfect because you can see my upper body and you'd be able to see the fish perfect and a little bit of the background. And that's, you don't want much more than that, because if you're way zoomed out, it's going to look like a smaller fish regardless. So on to the next topic. We're going to talk about stories on Instagram and stories on Facebook. I don't do many Facebook stories. I don't think I've ever done one, but Instagram especially, I try to post 5 to 10 stories a day. So I mean, I try to post a poll, ask me a question, stuff like that, or just fish pictures from, or like older fish pictures, stuff like that. So I know Ben also posts a lot of different things on there. So hear what he has to say.
The polls, I would say polls or asking people questions is definitely like the best like response you'll get from people because they're going to engage either saying like yes or no to your questions or they'll ask you questions and stuff. So I definitely say like doing either a question or a poll, like that'll definitely spike the interest on your stories. And then just yeah, being active on there. It doesn't really matter what you post on there, but like post like what you're doing. Like if you're like sorting out your tackle or something, like even just post that on your story and people will see that. So
Yeah, and it doesn't even have to necessarily be related to your fishing account. I mean, I'll post pictures of my truck, I'll post a sunrise or a sunset or something like that on there, or just whatever I'm doing that day. If I'm doing something cool, it doesn't have to necessarily be what your account is about. And I think that's kind of where stories come into play, where you can share more and people won't unfollow you because it's different from your regular posts.
yeah, I'd say just showing people that you're like still around and you're not like inactive for a couple of weeks is
Yeah.
always good.
So on the story side of thing, like Connor said about sunrise or sunset, I try and treat it as, I haven't had as much luck on the polls or the questions. I just don't know if the audience isn't as engaged in what I'm doing, but compared to that, but what I find a lot of feedback is I almost treat it, Instagram. I struggled with treating it like almost like my personal Snapchat in a way, because it was like, well, I have a hunting and fishing page. That's the only thing I'm going to post on there. But now I've kind of opened up a little bit to where I will start treating it more as my personal Snapchat, story kind of thing, to where if my dogs do something funny or something like that, or, my wife and I just went to Arizona, I'll put something on there, just a little bit, not a whole lot, because people don't want to just see you spam your family kind of thing. But it gives me the vibe of, instead of just spamming like, oh my gosh, when I come out with a video on Thursdays, you need to check out this video. When I come out with a podcast episode, the only time you're seeing that stuff, especially in the wintertime when I don't have a lot of posts, instead of just spamming that with what you've got going on, from your page side of things and your social media side of things, I think opening up on your story, doing the polls, doing the questions, but then taking a picture or a video of what you think is interesting, like you said, cleaning your tackle room. I've done stories where I'm wiping down and waxing my boat. I mean, stuff like that, to where as a viewer, you're seeing what you are up to and not only just getting spammed on like, here's this post, go like this, go subscribe, all that stuff. People really get tired of that.
Yeah, and that's what I used to do, is just if I uploaded a YouTube video, go like it. If I post a new picture, go like it. And that, I think, hurt my account. I was noticing that I was losing just as many followers as I was gaining in a day, so it was really balancing out to nothing. Um, but now, I mean, sometimes if like one of my friends catches a big fish, I'll repost it on my story, just like sharing their picture, or polls, whatever. It's just anything that'll keep you active and it's not begging for interactions.
Yeah.
I think another tip that I found works on mine is make sure when I start the morning off, I like to do either, what you're doing. Either, I mean, I've taken pictures of my breakfast, cup of coffee. I mean, just something like that, so people know that you're active. And the first thing you don't go do is post of what you've got going on per se from a social media standpoint. So a lot of times when I'm going to work, it's a sunrise picture, and then after that, I make sure I try and put the new post feature on there. So when I post every day, I put the new, share that to your story, put the new post filter on there, because I have seen a significant drop off in comments and likes if I forget to do that. All of a sudden, I'm like, well, how come usually it's about 120 to 150 likes is usually what I can get on an average post. So then all of a sudden I'm less than 100. I'm like, what went wrong? Did I do something wrong in the tags? Well, I go on my story and I didn't post, the new post thing. So I think a lot of times there's a lot more people finding your posts from the stories on the top of their Instagram feed, instead of just showing up, or top of their feed where it says stories, instead of just scrolling through and finding on your feed. So that's a trick that's helped me, I know.
Yeah.
A lot of people ask me about tournament fishing, fishing the opens, that kind of thing. And so I make sure either on a comment or a DM, even how, some of them can get, not weird, but it's like, they're literally, you're answering the same question over and over and over again. And you guys
Yeah.
can probably attest to that more than I can, but I make sure I comment back to every single person. And so that gets them to stick around. It's more blue collar, the tougher way to go about it than just putting the right tags and doing the reels and stuff like that. But I feel to engage my audience that I have on my page, they've got to somehow get to know me a little bit, even if it's through social media.
Yeah, and comments are really important. I mean, I've noticed a lot of my posts really don't get many comments. They'll maybe get 2 or 3, and I try to respond to those, even if it's just like somebody saying nice fish. I'll just respond with an emoji or whatever. So it'll show that I have more comments and people are more willing to like. But I've noticed a couple of my comments or my posts that'll have 40, 50, 60 comments because it's a big fish or it'll be a deer, or something bigger. um those will get a lot more comments, and if you can respond to those, those posts seem to get on the explore page more.
Yeah. I definitely say even like when we meet up, like when you, Ethan, and I met up, Connor, like
Hmm.
us three for the first time, like I'd met you, but I've never like been fishing with Ethan, but like tagging each other when we're together and stuff, like that can even get you a couple followers at least.
Oh yeah, because like when we ran into ND Yak Angler and Jagged Tooth and we were all tagging each other that
Yeah.
day, I noticed an increase in activity on my account with
Yeah.
comments, likes, follows, all that kind of
Because
stuff.
people click on the stickers because they're like, oh, who is this person? Like, I want to figure out who this person is. So
Mhm.
that's always a nice little plus side.
All right, and the last thing we wanted to talk about was using TikTok to grow your other social medias. That's how I actually began to grow my Instagram and YouTube both. I mean, since I started promoting them, I've been up about 150 subscribers on YouTube and 1,500 followers on Instagram. So I guess I could start off on it. I started this summer. Ethan Preston Outdoors got me into it, so I started just posting a few videos here and there, just stupid fishing videos. And it was the dumbest things that would seem to blow up. I mean, I had multiple videos get over 500,000 to 1.5 million views. And I'm up to probably like 35, 36,000 followers now. I haven't really posted on it much lately. But when I was posting on that consistently and I was cross promoting, which is a big thing to cross promote your Instagram and your YouTube. So I guess I'll hand it off to them on there because they've been doing the same thing to grow their other social medias, because TikTok really isn't that big for fishing.
All right. Well, really, I like kind of started doing TikTok because of you guys. Because that one time we went out ice fishing, like I was like, gosh, like Ethan, you got a good amount of followers. Connor's got a good amount of followers on TikTok, and like I had, I don't know, like 50 or something. So I was like, oh, I'll
Hmm.
try to. And now I've got almost like 2,000, but like that helps. Like that 2,000 people you can direct to your Instagram. So um I just found like listening to you guys and stuff, like just post as many videos as you can, and like literally anything could like make the For You page. So I think it's
Yeah.
just better to post as much as you can.
Yeah. And contrary to popular belief, TikTok isn't just for 13-year-old girls to shake their butts. So,
Yep.
Ethan, why don't you lead us off of that?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll take that off of that. I say Connor had started TikTok and I had an account. The only reason I created it was so I could have the Preston Outdoors name on there so nobody would take it. And I never posted anything on there. Posted a little bit, and then after I got going, I fished the first Bassmaster Central Open down in Oklahoma, and I just did some silly videos, not really silly, but just like in the bass boats we were practicing in. I did some panoramas of when we were locking through when there's 90 bass boats during the competition. And that's really what jumped my account up, is people seeing all that amount of professional guys, wrap boats, all of them together. And it just started blowing. I'd send Connor screenshots, video recordings. I'd get 300 followers a day. And it was just all follow back, you know what I mean? Going through comments up the wazoo and stuff. And again, I went back and commented on everybody's. The one thing I did wrong is, and didn't understand about TikTok at the time, is when you're on the For You pages, you need to just keep pumping it out. So what I did is I got home and I stopped posting on it because I really I wasn't taking it that seriously at the time. And so then I had to kind of claw my way back to get back into going there. And I think I'm at like 9,300 followers now. But as I really enjoy the release videos, the slow-mo release videos, just for posting on Instagram or Facebook or just myself. And so what I did is I went back through all my old footage that I have on my phone, and I created a draft for each one of those slow-mo release videos, and then put, some hashtags are pretty relevant in TikTok as well. I think mostly the music is what's more relevant to what I found myself. Make sure you know the beat drops or the trending music, and there's pages that'll show you that kind of stuff. But I went back through and found all those old videos that I took of slow-mo release videos or any release videos that I had, and then after that, when the tournaments were over, I made sure every time you went out, you try to at least do some kind of creation to where you basically take in a 15-second window or a 30-second window, and you are doing a vlog, is what a way I look at it, of how your day went. A couple release videos, dumping the boat in, taking the boat out. I mean, just something like that. People really, really enjoy, because my biggest attraction, like I mentioned, was the bass boat side of things. Since I have a bass boat, I'm able to show videos of it, show pictures of it. Not a lot of people up here have those or see them as much. And unless you're a professional guy, you do your YouTube tutorials and stuff on going through them. But the fishing out of the boat and using my bass boat's kind of been my biggest lure to my page, I guess.
Yeah, so I guess back onto the topic of why we were talking about this cross promoting, but to go back to it, uh, I started it to cross promote to Instagram and YouTube because I don't know about them, but from my experience, companies will not look at your TikTok. I mean, I have had 30, whatever, 30 some thousand followers, and I've had a few emails here and there from different Chinese companies asking me to take their free baits. And it's like, I don't want that. I want decent products. I found Instagram and YouTube have been my most attraction, or my most attractive thing. Even having, when I first started, 250 followers on Instagram was when I got my first message about a company. So I'd say that counts as way more, 250 followers on Instagram, than 30,000 on TikTok. Okay, so I'm going over this footage now, and I realized I messed up. I did not mean 250 followers on Instagram is better than 35,000 on TikTok. I mean, like, 250 followers will go along a lot more than, like, per se, if you had 3,500 or 350 on TikTok or whatever. I'd still say 35,000 is better on TikTok than it is 250 on Instagram. But you get my point. Instagram, you don't need as many followers to attract big companies.
Yeah. I'd say Instagram and YouTube too are just, they're a lot more professional and stuff. I think companies look at TikTok as being just like a kind of a joke and everything. So
A children's app.
yeah.
But yeah, don't be afraid to, like you said, cross promote. Don't be afraid to, like Connor showed me, a way to take, just screen record a YouTube video of that you've already posted, screen record it, cut it down to where you see that, and say, hey, of a hook set, and just before the fish gets there, cut the TikTok video off. So people will go to your bio, they'll click your link, they'll go to your YouTube channel. And then especially the big push was when TikTok was going to get taken down. Everybody said, hey, if this dies, go check out my Instagram page. And that kind of fall off once it stayed alive. So that's something you can do for video and for content. And it's not really begging, because if they enjoy your TikToks, they should enjoy your daily content or your weekly content on Instagram and YouTube as well. So don't be afraid to plug yourself, to cross promote, because I feel like you said, the companies and that I've dealt with and Ben and Connor have dealt with, they're the more traditional, more serious kind of thing, to where they're going to look at your Facebook, your Instagram, and your YouTube. And if you can get more people over there, it's just say if half the people on Connor's TikToks would go like his Instagram page, how much that would blow up. It's a struggle to get people to go over there, but I think it's definitely another avenue to make sure people try and find you that way.
Definitely.
Thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you guys learned something from any of us. If you want to go check out my Instagram, it's cc.outdoor, or my Facebook is cc outdoors, and I think I'll pass it to Ben.
And mine is just Ben Outdoors USA. You can find my Facebook if you want, but I don't really care too much about that one.
Mine's just All Preston Outdoors, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, All Preston Outdoors.
Yep. So thank you guys for watching the video, and yeah, have a good day.